Thank you so much for joining today. We'll go ahead and start our practice either seated in our chair, if we're taking chair poses today, or coming down onto the ground in a constructive rest. Laying flat on the back, lengthening through the spine. Allowing the feet to be about hip distance apart, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. And then you can maybe let them come to kiss each other. Your hands can rest on your body, or maybe they rest alongside you on the floor with the palms face up. I invite you to close your eyes, or maybe to simply soften your gaze today. As you start to sink into this moment, we'll breathe slowly, deeply, intentionally, as we begin to allow our weight to sink into the ground beneath us. We'll allow our breathing to start to find an easy flow, a circular breath, where our inhale immediately feeds into our exhale without a pause or hesitation. And our exhale immediately feeds into our inhale. And we'll continue in this cycle of breath. Breathing in through the nose if it's available, and out through the mouth. Taking that circular breath. Inhale by exhale. No pause, no hesitation. Each inhale leading to the next breath. Each exhale leading to the next inhale. With each breath, feel your lungs filling, expanding. And then exhale. Taking another deep inhale. And exhale. Taking in one last deep inhale. And let's pause at the top, holding for just a moment. And then release back into the circular breath. I'd like for you to begin to imagine the springtime sun high up in the sky above your head at the moment. Depending on the time of day, it may be night or another time of day where you're not feeling like the sun is there, but visualize it, imagine it. The sun's rays radiating warmly down on you. Its yellow light extends down, touching the top of your head. And as you breathe here in this moment, give permission for that sunlight to gently warm and relax your muscles as it goes over your body little by little, warming every spot as it goes. As you breathe, allow the sunlight to start to pass over the top of your head and begin to make its way down past your eyes, illuminating your forehead, warming your cheeks, your jaw, flowing down past your neck, breaking up any tension there. As it continues to work, as it goes down, going to your shoulders and dividing, as it goes down your arms, reaching your elbows and flowing towards your fingertips. Spring sunlight continues to radiate, and it works its way towards your heart space, towards your torso. And as you breathe gently in a circular breath, the light begins to cover your body as if hugging your heart. And as you breathe out, begin to let that warmth and sunlight radiate lovingly. Maybe feelings of joy, love, or comfort. Maybe an awareness of your sense of creativity, or passion, or excitement. That springtime energy. Maybe your heart beats loudly with this light, and your breath continues. So does the flow of the yellow light. As it starts to reach your stomach, untangling any knots or doubts or fears or worries. Moving further down to your hips and the base of your spine. Flowing past your thighs and kneecaps. Down your calves and into your feet. Your whole body contains this light from the sun above. And as you breathe consciously, continuously, it nourishes this light. It nourishes your spirit as you continue to breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll start to release that circular breath, finding our natural flow of breath, whatever that feels like. We'll take a moment to offer ourselves just a little bit of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day to slow down here on the mat. Allow a little springtime energy into our lives. And as you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, flutter the eyes open. And we'll begin by allowing the soles of the feet to come together and the knees to begin to open wide. You're laying on the floor and you'd like to add some props under your knees. You're more than welcome to do that, especially since this is our first opening of those hips today. And if you're seated in the chair, you're taking the same feet together, knees wide. You can keep them on the floor, or maybe bring a prop underneath of them, starting to lift those feet up a little closer to your hips. Okay, Keep your hips forward seated in the chair, but maybe lean back a little bit, taking it into a reclined position. And once again, your hands could be resting on your body. You could circle them into a goddess position, cactus. You could circle them and bring your fingers towards each other, interlacing them and supporting your head with your elbows out to your side. Anything that feels good here for the arms, opening up just through the torso, and maybe taking just a few gentle movements through the neck, letting yourself rock it out. All right, find a little bit of stillness through the neck and length of the spine. And then we're going to come up, bringing our hands down by our hips and push ourselves up into a seated wide knee position. And if you're on the floor and need to take any alternate routes, feel free to do that as well. But we'll come back into that seated butterfly or seated feet together, knees wide position. Go ahead and allow your feet to come out away from your body just a little bit, though, if you're seated on the floor. And then we'll bring our hands to our knees, lengthen through our spine, and with an exhale, begin to lean your heart forward towards your legs, coming into a tortoise pose. We'll allow our chin to curl down towards our chest. Now, if you're seated on the floor, you're more than welcome to bring your hands either outside your legs or under your legs and walk the fingertips as far out as you want, or maybe even bring some props under the hands if you like. You're seated in the chair, you're always welcome to keep your hands on your lap. You're welcome to hold onto your chair as a counterbalance. Or if you have a prop like a block you can bring in front of you, you're more than welcome to also do that as well. We'll take a slight rounding through the spine. Chin comes to chest. We'll take one last breath in tortoise pose. As we inhale, we bring our hands underneath of us to roll back up to a straight spine. And then we'll come and allow our knees to come together, releasing that pose. From here, we're going to come into a hero or a half hero's pose. So if you're seated on the chair, it'll be a half hero's pose. You'll slide over to the right side, so the right side is off and the left side is supported. And you start to walk that right foot back behind you, leaving the toes tucked or untucking, but allowing the knee to sink down towards the floor. Now, if you're taking this from the floor, you're welcome to use any props that you know that you like for your hero's pose. Your toes can be tucked or untucked, but you're bringing your legs towards each other. You're sitting back onto your heels or onto a prop. You're lengthening through your spine. And then let's take our right arm and start to circle it towards the back of our head, towards our neck, or even towards the back of our shoulders. Now you can grab anywhere from your hand to your elbow, or even grab a strap in between the arms here if you'd like. Really helping to lengthen through that right side body in your cow face pose. Great job. With our next inhale, take the arms up, look up, and then exhale, bring it down through a prayer. If you're seated in the chair, we'll go ahead and walk that right foot back through center. Come over to the left side, walk the left foot back. And then we'll all begin to circle our arms, letting them float up, and then allow the left arm to come down, either to the back of the head, the neck, or the spine, capturing anywhere from hand to elbow with the right hand, or with a strap here, coming into your cow face on this side. We'll take one last breath here. Our inhale, gaze comes up, arms lift up. Exhale, bring it down through a prayer. You're seated in the chair. Let's come over through center. And from here, we're going to take an ankle stretch. So seated in the chair, to do this, we'll do one side at a time, bringing it back behind the knee and flipping to the top of the foot. You're seated on the floor. I like to use props like blocks under my hands, but you're welcome to have your hands on the floor or on your props, and then start to lift the knees off the floor, allowing your weight to sink back towards your heels. And if this just feels wrong in your body, of course, just skip it. We'll take one last breath, whichever side you're on, finishing off, letting the knees come down, and then come forward and tip tap, tip tap. All right, we'll come into a tabletop if we're on the floor, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And if we're seated in the chair, we're going to come into our seated mountain. And let's take a few cat-cows here, pulling the heart forward and down, and then lifting the gaze, chin, exhaling to round the spine back, tucking chin to chest. Take it at your own pace. Maybe matching that circular breath with your movements. All right, one last cycle of breath through cat-cow. Coming back into your tabletop or seated mountain. And from here, if we're on the floor, we're going to come to stand on our knees. Always welcome to add a little cushion there if you'd like. And if we're seated in our chair, we're going to stay in our seated mountain. From here, we're going to bring our hands either to the back of our chair, at the seat, or anywhere along the back of the chair. Or we're going to bring them to the back of our hips. And you're also welcome to maybe grab a couple blocks and bring them back by your ankles if you'd like to take those as a support during this back bend. Wherever we're at, we're going to start to lift our heart and start to lift our gaze. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can maybe drop them towards your heels or towards your props if you're using those. If you're seated in the chair, making sure to press into your hands wherever they're located to lift and help bolster the back bend. We're squeezing our shoulder blades towards each other. We're opening up through that heart space. Great job. Next, inhale, bring hands back towards hips and then straight spine. All righty, let's take our right hand to our right hip or to the chair at our right hip. And then we're going to take this into a twist, half camel. So we're pushing into that right hand wherever it's at, and then swiping the left arm out in front of us and up and back. Inhale to come back through, standing on your knees or seated mountain. And then drop the left hand, swoop the right hand up and back. Great job. Inhale to come back through a straight spine. And then with your next exhale, if you're on the floor, coming back onto hands and knees and tabletop pose. If you're taking chair poses, we're going to come up standing and take a tabletop from our standing variation, either using the seat of the chair or the tall part of the chair, depending on where you're at. But we're all lining shoulders and wrists, ankles, and hips, knees and hips, depending on if you're on your hands and knees or on your feet. All righty, for this next variation. We're gonna take a thread the needle variation. We're gonna start by taking our left hand out to the side, opening it up, really twisting it back behind us as far as feels good. With our exhale, start to bring it under the body as you pull it back towards the wall on the other side. You're twisting, but don't dump the shoulder down just yet. Inhale to come back through center, opening it up. And then with our next exhale, we're going to take that arm from that lifted position, start to find a rainbow arc up overhead. Beautiful job. Come back through, opening up the shoulder towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Pull the fingertips over towards the opposite side as far as you can go. Really twist. Inhale to open back up. Exhale to rainbow arc overhead. All right, we're going to take that sequence just one more time. Open back up. Exhale, thread the needle. Really pull it in there. Inhale to open it back up. Exhale to rainbow arc. Beautiful job. Open it back up. Exhale your variation of tabletop. All right, let's take that on the right side. Set up in your alignment, getting everything back where it's supposed to be. Inhale, open up to this right side this time, or the opposite side. Exhale, thread the needle. Pull it through, really reach that fingertips, twisting through the spine. Inhale to open it back up. Exhale to rainbow arc. Take these last three on your own. You start to forget the order, just take a breath. You're doing great. Last one. We'll meet in tabletop. Great job. And then from here, we're going to drop the elbows right where the hands just were. So if you were using a chair or the back of the chair, maybe bringing a blanket there as a cushion. And then we're gonna take a puppy pose. So we're gonna go again to walk our legs back behind us, keeping our knees on the ground if we're on the mat variation. And starting to drop the head in between the arms. You can rest the head on the floor. You can rest it on the back of the chair. You could also just let it dangle if that feels like a great option. Exploring how this feels through your shoulders, through the armpits, the sides of the body, the neck. You're doing a beautiful job. Beautiful. With our exhale, begin to walk yourself back towards your elbows, coming out of this pose. And we'll find our way up into a standing position, getting there in our own time and in our own way. Moving any props you don't need out of the way. Come into our mountain pose. Let's inhale, circle arms, reach them up and overhead, tall mountain, feel that length and extension. And then with an exhale, rain the fingertips down, coming into your first standing forward fold. Hands can rest on the floor, on your prop, or on your own legs. Keep a nice generous bend in your knees. And you're welcome to find just a little bit of movement here. Maybe you want to start swaying from side to side, lifting your heels, bending the knees. You can even grab opposite elbows if you'd like, or find some movement through the neck or jaw. All right, we'll eventually settle back into a little bit of stillness. We'll press into our hands wherever they're located, lifting us halfway, figure 7. Beautiful job. Exhale to hinge into your forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, sink the hips, and then take a slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Once you arrive, shoulders inhale, arms come up, tall mountain. Exhale, drop your right hand to your right hip or maybe to a prop, and then lean it over towards the right. Inhale to come back through center, exhale to the left. Inhale back through center. This time we're going to twist towards the right, letting arms open wide, one in front, one behind. Inhale through center, exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, let's bring it down through a prayer into our mountain pose. All righty, coming from our mountain pose, let's step our left foot back. We're going to come into a high lizard lunge, starting to point our left toes out towards the right side. You can keep your hands on a prop. You can bring them to your hips. You can bring them to a prayer, or maybe you start to let them float up beside the ears. Allow the right knee to be slightly, or the left knee to be slightly angled towards the left. Great job. With our next exhale, allow your front leg to straighten and then find a hinge, a forward fold over that front leg. If you're feeling it strongly in the ligament of the knee, bring a gentle bend into it, moving the stretch into the thigh muscle. Great job. With our next inhale, go ahead and bend through that front knee, coming into a lower lizard lunge. Keep your right hand planted and then start to lift your left hand, twisting your lizard lunge. Beautiful. With our next exhale, bring your hands back towards a prayer or onto your prop. And then with an exhale, we're going to find airplane arms in our lunge position. Beautiful job. Straighten that front leg. Exhale, hinge over it one more time. Beautiful job. Inhale, halfway lift, then come back to a straight spine. Walk that back leg in. All right, we're gonna take our lizard lunge on the other side. So right toes come out to the right, left foot goes back. It's a high lizard lunge for this first little bit. Again, your hands can stay on your prop, or maybe lift overhead. Just like all lunges, we want to be squeezing our thighs towards each other, engaging our core by pulling our belly button back towards our spine. You're doing a really good job here. This builds a lot of lower body strength. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, hinge over that front leg. Feel your breath. Maybe even that circular breath is your focus here. All right, go ahead and start to bend through that front leg, but keep your hands planted. Left hand stays, right arm twists. Or sorry, I might have said that backwards. Right arm stays, left arm twists. Dropping both hands towards you in front of that front leg. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, straight spine. Straighten the front leg. One last hinge over that front leg. Great job. Bring it back up. Step back foot in. Take any movement that your body would like in this moment. And then we're going to have a little bit of a balance challenge next. Now, you're always welcome to bring your right side against a prop or against a wall for more support, or at the middle of your space. We're going to start to bend through that left knee, bringing it up about hip height. And then take and point your toes away from you. And our next exhale, we're going to swoop the foot back behind us, pointing the toes behind us. And then take that a few times at your own pace. Swoop it forward, swoop it back. Finding maybe a spot on the floor. Alrighty, great job. Now we're going to add in 2 more points. So we'll have our forward and our back. We're going to go at about a 45-degree angle to the front and a 45-degree angle to the back. So it'll go front, front side, back side, straight back. Start it again. Explore this movement with your legs, pointing the toe away from you as you take the pointing movement. You're doing great. Go as fast or as slow as your body wants to go. Last time through. Come back through center. Take a moment to notice the sensations on the different sides of the body. And then as you're ready, set up for the other side. Whatever that means in your moment. As you're ready, shift your weight to the left. Point the right toes away in front. And then back. And just take your front to back a couple times. Get yourself used to the movement. All right. And then whenever you're ready, start to add the 2 extra sides. Take it at your pace. Doing great. Last time through, you're doing wonderful. You're almost done. Come back through your mountain. Take a moment, feet planted on the earth, to just notice the sensations through both sides of your body currently in this moment. Beautiful job. All right, from here, if you're taking chair poses, we'll bring your blanket or pillow either to the back or to the seat of your chair, as we're going to take a dolphin pose. We'll bring our elbows down onto that blanket, keeping our hips high, begin to walk them back. If you're taking floor poses, go ahead and come on down to the ground. Bringing elbows to the ground, similar to puppy pose, but then begin to lift the knees off the floor and straightening or keeping the knees bent as you lift the hips high. So very similar to puppy pose. You could also come back into puppy pose if that works better for you. And another option, no matter whether you like to take chair poses or floor poses, another great option is to find a wall nearby and take your dolphin pose on the wall. Either way, you'll start to sink your arms, your head in between your arms. to really feel this through the shoulders, under the arms, just going a little bit deeper into those places that we started to stretch a little bit ago. Beautiful job. Take one last big breath here, maybe even exhale out on the sigh on the exhale. Then begin to walk your feet towards your elbows, releasing the stretch through the shoulders. If you're on the mat, come into a tabletop for just a moment, and then bring your right hand directly under your face, keeping your right knee bent, coming into a grounded side plank. You're taking poses from the chair or from the wall. We'll take out anything soft or cushy. Make sure we're feeling nice and sturdy wherever we're at. And we'll come into our variation of a side plank, making sure that we have just a little bit of a lean, but we're not losing our balance or falling or having the chair slide out from underneath of us from wherever we're at. Alrighty. Beautiful job in these side planks. Their next inhale, take that top arm, circle it overhead, and really take it on a nice lengthy side bend. Rainbow arc. Great job. With your next exhale, circle your hand down by your hip. Begin to maybe lift those toes off the floor. And then maybe explore kicking your heel back towards your hip. You can hold onto your leg or to your pants. You could even grab your ankle, or if you prefer to use a strap, maybe you grab a strap, wrap it around your ankle. But we're drawing our heel towards our hip now. A little bit of a back bend from our grounded side plank. Great job. Exhale to release. And then let's come through center, tabletop, over to the opposite side. Find your grounded side plank on the side. Inhale to circle and stack wrists and shoulders. And then begin to explore what it might feel like to take that top arm alongside the ear, really feeling a nice stretch through the entire length of that top side of your body. Great job. Next exhale, hand comes down by your hip, beginning to lift that extended leg off the floor, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. And then finding a bend in the knee and starting to bring it back towards the hip. Grabbing anywhere along the pants, the leg, or your strap. As you draw your hip and heel together in some fashion. Beautiful job. Exhale to release. Coming through your tabletop of choice. Alrighty. From here, if you're on the floor, go ahead and come into a seat on the floor. And then if we're in the chair, we're just coming to a seat in the chair. If you're on the mat, go ahead and roll into a ball, curling knees in towards your chest. And take a few moments to rock left to right. If you're seated in the chair, we'll rock as well. But you don't need to lift your feet, keep them planted. We'll rock a little left to right, giving your glutes a nice gentle massage. All right, great job. We'll pause there. We'll grab our strap if we like using our strap for leg stretches. And we're gonna grab our right leg. We're gonna start to extend it straight out from the body from us. If we're on the mat, it's up towards the floor, up towards the ceiling. And if we're seated in the chair, it's out in front of us. You can also hold anywhere behind the leg or along the ankle, drawing your toes down towards your face. Reclined big toe pose. And then we're going to exhale and start to open that leg out to the right side, allowing it to hover off the mat if we're in the floor on the floor, and having it hover out to the side if we're seated. You can keep a gentle bend in the knee as much as you would like. Great job. Our next exhale, we're going to bring it into a figure four or a reclined or seated pigeon, letting that right knee fall out to the side as we cross that right ankle over the left knee. If you're seated in the chair, maybe you start to lean your heart forward. And if you're on the mat, you can always lift that left foot off the mat, drawing your heart a little closer as you hug your left leg towards your body. Great job. Let's exhale to release. Come back in to constructive rest or seated mountain. We then take our opposite leg, our left leg. We start to take that big toe pose, letting ourselves stretch out through the back of the leg, really press the heel away from us, whether we're holding onto a toe, a strap, anywhere along the leg. There's a bend, it's straight, whatever we're doing, we're just letting ourselves come to our edge. We're breathing there. Exhale to let it fall out to the left side. Keeping the spine straight no matter where you're at, what orientation. You're doing a beautiful job. Inhale to bring it back into figure four or pigeon variation. And then again, maybe bringing the heart closer to your shin or bringing your shin closer to your heart, depending on which variation you're taking. Allowing yourself to get into that left hip, little or a lot. Great job. Our last breath here. Exhale to release. Now for our next resting variation, we're going to find a bolster or maybe a couch pillow, or maybe even we just take a blanket and roll it up to make something long and skinny. We come into a reclined fish pose. We roll over that prop so that it can open us up through our heart space, even deeper than those poses that we took at the beginning of class. Your hands can open up wide like a W. They could circle overhead. If you are taking this in the chair, same thing. You have something, hips forward, shoulders back. Allow your arms to open over something so that you're opening up through the heart space. You have a wall nearby. Maybe you're letting your head rest against a wall, or maybe you circle those hands up, supporting the head as you open up through the heart space. We'll take just a few circular breaths here. Your feet can be in a constructive rest. You're always welcome to extend the legs out long along the floor if you're on the mat, or maybe take a butterfly. But make sure that if you're in the chair, you're not going to slide out of the chair, that you're feeling braced where you're at. Allowing yourself to open up through the heart space for one last deep breath wherever you're at. Our next exhale rolls us to one side to come off of our prop. And then let's find our legs up the wall variation for ourselves today. Bringing our hips up against a wall, lifting those legs up. If you're seated in the chair, our goal is to get them just up a little bit higher than our heart. You're always welcome to use a wall, couch, or anything in your room that will help you bring those feet up higher. You can always have a bend in the knees, or you can work the legs straight. You can point the toes, you can flex the ankles, you can let them rest naturally. You can add any pillows, weights, or anything else that you might want here in this moment as you settle into this last restorative pose. Now you're always welcome to hold it through our final meditation, or just simply hold it for a few breaths here with me in this moment. You're always welcome to maybe close your eyes or simply soften your gaze. Maybe you come back to that focus on the circular breath, finding not a moment to pause between each segment. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, but not fast. Slow it down. Let it be continuous and smooth. Take a moment to notice the body once more. Any sensations, any emotions, any tweaks or twinges that might be calling your attention. Not to offer them judgment, but just simple awareness, a moment to breathe here with whatever is there. As I stated before, you're welcome to stay right here if you are really enjoying the legs up the wall variation. If you would like to come down, finding a different resting pose of your choice, with the next few breaths to bring the feet down, adding any pillows, props, sweaters or socks that you might want to add so that you can start to come into a moment of complete relaxation. As you settle in, maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you simply soften your gaze, finding what feels like rest to you in this moment, what feels like stillness. We'll take deep breaths as you allow yourself to become really comfortable in your space. With each breath, you feel your body relaxing. Your shoulders drop, and your mind clear. We'll begin to imagine ourselves walking along a peaceful path in a lush, natural environment of your choice. The air is fresh and filled with the scent of blooming flowers. The gentle warmth of the spring sun once again touches your skin, melting away any tension. As you walk, do you notice the vibrant green leaves unfurling on the tree's branches? The soft grass breaking through the earth at your feet. And colorful wildflowers that are just starting to line the path. Do you notice and listen to a symphony of birds singing in the trees, celebrating the arrival of spring? With each step, maybe you feel a little more connected to the earth, grounded and supported. The energy of renewal and growth surrounding you, filling you maybe with a sense of hope and new beginnings. Maybe you pause by a clear, bubbling stream. The water is cool and refreshing, symbolizing the flow of life and the cleansing of old, stagnant energy. Maybe you dip a hand into the water, feeling its chilly purity wash over you, renewing your spirit. As you continue your journey, you come across a meadow bathed in sunlight. The meadow is alive with the buzz of bees and the flutter of butterflies. Each creature playing its part in the dance of life. Maybe you take a moment to find a comfortable spot to rest in the wildflowers. To take a moment to reflect on the beauty of nature, on the cycles of life, and the opportunities that each new season brings. As you rest here, simply breathe in the essence of spring, allowing it to fill you with vitality and peace. With every exhale, allow yourself to release any energies or anything that's no longer serving you. Making room for fresh, positive energy of renewal and growth. You breathe in the springtime energy. Know that you can carry this tranquility of spring with you throughout your evening, your day, and your week ahead. As we take the deepest breath of our day so far, we'll notice any sense of renewal and relaxation that we found tonight. We'll begin to stand up from our spot with the wildflowers. We'll continue on our journey as we start to come back into this present moment. We'll begin to notice the air that's surrounding our bodies. We'll feel the ground that is supporting us. We'll begin to wiggle fingers and toes, maybe fluttering the eyes open. And in your own time and in your own way, finding your way to an upright position facing you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Thank you. Until next time.